All right, it's time for the actual Who's Line Club stream of Session 0. Take it away, Mufasa, I guess. You're hosting.
Okay, so we are playing Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition because I like 2nd Edition for several reasons. One, it's not the OG, but it might as well be. It's the de facto OG D&D. I know it isn't really, but it was the one that's really popular and still is popular. Second, it's unforgiving. Characters are squishable. There's an actual sense of danger. And third, the world itself seems unforgiving, not just the mechanics. So it really makes all that heroism really exceptional seeming. So, as you will be seeing in a minute, we are sitting in a sea of white, and we have our 3 avatars. For me, Elephant on the left, Delta in the center, and Gunther on the right. Gunther? Am I saying that? Gunther. Sorry. What we're doing today is sort of an introductory session that will help establish some of their characters and their natures. This is called a Session 0 in some parlances. So what a Session 0 is basically kind of going through an earlier stage of their life before they went out and became an adventurer, presenting them with a situation and seeing how they were blah, 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 that sort of thing. So Delta is currently unavailable at the moment, so we have Mean Elephant and we have Gunter. So which one of you guys would like to go first?
I'll let our guest go first.
Okay, Gunter.
Okay.
First of all, how old was your character when we're starting the game?
I have no idea. Let's just say 30.
Okay. So this is going to be well before you're 30. This is going to actually be when you're 13. And our free tokens provided by Roll20. Thank you very much.
Yes. I'm looking at my character sheet now. And as such, so is the stream.
You cut out there.
Oh, I'm looking at my character sheet now, and as such, so is the stream.
You're cutting out again.
Fuck. Am I actually cutting out?
Yes.
Just disconnects and reconnect.
Hold on now. I can actually hear him just fine.
Huh. That's weird.
I can't.
You can't? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. Now that's out of the way. We have this dude.
Who is he?
We don't know. He's the mysterious stranger. The mysterious stranger who is currently passed out. He's on the side of the road. You're coming in from going out and just going into the woods having a good day. And you see this guy sitting down. What do you do?
I talk to him and see if he's still conscious.
Okay, role play it.
Hello, sir. Are you okay?
What happened?
What is the last thing you remember?
The town. My wife. The children are sick. What happened?
Do you know your name?
Raven.
Where do you live?
Neziston. I live in Neziston. Oh, my head.
Is that near here?
I don't know where I am. I can't tell you that.
How about you stand up and I will take you around what this town is.
He gets up. He's very unsteady. His legs shake. You grab his hand. His hands are sweaty.
Are you sure you're okay?
I don't feel okay. Oh, my head.
What is hurting you the most?
My head. He takes off his cap. You can see that he's got a nasty gash on his head. His hair is just caked with blood. It smells kind of coppery and kind of gross.
That'll do it.
Sir, how about you sit back down? I will try and patch you up, let's say.
Oh, but my wife, my kids. Where's
They're
the medicine?
all right, but we need to get you settled down first.
Where's the medicine?
Using my quirk powers, I heal wounds on him.
Well, this is before you're a cleric. This is 2013.
Oh, okay. Sir, do you have anything on you?
He feels his pockets, or rather where his pockets would be if they weren't currently missing. He starts patting his shirt frantically and his pants. They took everything! They took everything!
Who's they?
I need
they?
the medicine! Oh, me elephant, this is just Gunter here.
Whoops.
I remember bits and pieces, like a man with one eye, a guy with a scar, a dwarf who had his hair spiked up.
You know what happened after that?
He shakes his head. I can't remember. Oh, where's the medicine? My wife, my kids.
What medicine?
It was Troll's Bane. It was an herb. You know what Troll's Bane is, don't you?
I can't say that I'm familiar with that.
Oh, my kids, they have a fever. It's been on a week now. They're not getting better. The medicine woman sent me to get Troll's Bane because she said it would help break the fever. I had to go over very far to get it because it doesn't grow near Neziston. I was coming back, and that's when everything goes all jumbled up.
So, do you know, do you have any way of contacting your friends or family?
If you can find me a courier or a runner or someone, I could get a message, but I can't pay them. They took my money. They took everything, except the clothes on my back and my walking stick.
I examine him to see if there's anything else on him.
As far as you can tell, it's just his clothes, like he says, his clothes and his walking stick. He looks fairly beat up. In addition to the gash on his head, he's got a bunch of other defensive wounds. He's got some bruising on his arms and his legs. He looks like he's in pretty bad shape.
Do you know about a specific area where you started to lose memory?
I just know it was on the way back. I don't. Where are we? What town is this?
Should I use my backstory to
Yes.
use this? Okay. We are currently in the town of Lowenhawk.
But that's not even close to where the road is. Oh, they took me. They left me somewhere. Those bastards. My kids, my wife. Somebody's got to get them to Troll's Bane. But
Somebody, well, wait 1 second. I'm sure that they know and are trying to search for you.
I hope so. What did you say the name of your town is?
Lowenhawk.
Lowenhawk? Can we go into town? Maybe I can get my bearings or something.
and I pick him up and around my shoulder.
Oh, thank you, child. Thank you. Oh, my head.
We'll take you to the town doctor or whatever.
It's a very slow going because basically you have 200 pounds of dead weight that can only use one leg on your shoulder. But you eventually, through much travail, make it on the dirt path back to Lowenhawk. You can see a few people kind of hanging around, but they kind of when they notice you, they kind of come over and they start going, "Is he okay? Can I help? What's going on? Is he hurt? Was he robbed?" You're just kind of getting mobbed by a small group of people asking a bunch of questions.
I tell them to back off, everybody, and I was going to take him to safety.
You can see the doctor's office from where you are. It's a modest shack, but there's the symbol of the doctor on it, which is the cross with, the staff with the snake. He's got a couple of ornamental plants out front, and while it looks like it's certainly an old dwelling, it's been well kept.
I go inside and wait for the doctor.
You can hear him trumble down the stairs. Clop, 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 clop. Hey, who is this calling on me at this hour? My, what happened to you?
I found him out of town in the grasslands, and he looked pretty beat up.
My head hurts. He takes his cap off. Oh, goodness me. I have to see if we can find some herbs that can help with this. Child, run along. Get me some water from the well.
And I rush off to get the water.
You do so. The bucket's in the well. Seems like it's working as it should be. You return with the water, I assume.
Yes, I put a bucket right under the well and roll it in.
Mm-hmm. Once the water's been retrieved and brought back to the doctor, you can see that he's laying the guy down on a makeshift bed. It's basically a big piece of wood that's kind of supported on some chairs. Oh, my leg, my head.
I go over to check and make sure that they are all right and give them the water.
Thank you, child. He's in pretty bad shape. You said that he was robbed?
Yeah, I just found him and he didn't have anything on him except for what he has right now.
Ooh, that is most unfortunate. Here, drink some of this, he commands the guy. And the guy drinks the water. You can hear him very audibly. Oh, oh goodness, I think he's passed out.
I go over and check to make sure that he's still alive and not just passed and just unconscious.
I just realized I forgot to actually put the good doctor. So, he's still breathing. You can see his chest going up and down. It's very, very erratic breath, though. Well, maybe not erratic, but it's like labored is a better term.
I asked the doctor if we should wake him up.
I don't think that's wise. These next few hours will be very crucial to see if he lives or not. Oh, I'd get Alfric to do some healing on him, but he's over wherever he goes every once in a while, out in the woods.
Is there anything that I could do?
Say, you don't happen to know where Alfric could be, would you? I know he's in the woods.
I do not, but I can probably go check on the woods.
He's in the bat cave.
To the Batmobile.
I'm sorry. You guys are trying to have a real moment.
Well, if you can go quickly and find him, maybe we can get this person stable.
And I run off to the woods.
You run off to the woods, which, wow, this scrolling is counterintuitive. You run off to the woods, and it starts out pretty light, and then kind of gradually gets thicker the more you go in. There's a couple of birds flying around. There's a couple of deer that kind of scatter as soon as they sense your presence. So your intelligence is what?
I should. My intelligence is. Second. 11.
Roll me a 1d20 and see if you roll under 11. Wow, you just to remind those who are unfamiliar with second edition, that is for second edition on a ability check, that is a crit success.
Oh, wow.
So you can kind of read, you get the sense that you can kind of read the forest and see what's kind of been recently disturbed. And it's not so much a hint as it is basically somebody shot off a flare. You could definitely tell where somebody's been walking. There's some footprints in the mud. There's marks on a tree. You can kind of see where the grass has been trampled down a bit. It looks like somebody has definitely walked through here.
I follow all of the trails.
You follow the trails. The woods get thicker and darker. The trees start blocking out more and more sunlight. Eventually, it's basically thick completely, and you can hardly see it all. But you do hear a male voice chanting.
I sneakily go up, just get to the perimeter just to see him, but do not engage anything.
You're at the mouth of a very large. There's a very faint light coming from the inside.
Once again, I sneakily go up to the light, but do not speak or do anything.
Whatever this cave is, it smells really, really bad, moldy, wet, and humid. It's like the air itself is damp. Your feet squish as they walk through piles of white goo.
Gross.
Every so often, you can hear what seems to be a very faint but loud shriek. I know it's counterintuitive, but it's like a piercing, like a wail of a banshee almost. You can hear the chanting grow louder.
Keep on going.
As you get closer, you eventually see this dude standing in front of the fire. He's got his arms up, and he's on his knees, and he's just doing his thing.
I tried to see if he would be an enemy or not. Or if he looks like an enemy.
Well, it's kind of hard to determine that. However, it doesn't look like he's got any weapons on him, aside from a knife, which may not even be intended to be used as a weapon. More of a tool. It's a small. Are you familiar with what a seax is?
I shall look it up.
SEAX. Make sure you spell SEAX and don't misspell it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
One of these things for those following along at home.
Should I open that link on the stream?
If you want to. It's the Wikipedia article for the CX.
Basically just a knife, but like not.
Yeah, it's what he's got is like a small one. It's got, an elaborately carved blade, and then the handle is actually quite plain. It's kind of like the opposite of what you would expect.
I yell towards him, and I just yell hello.
He stops chanting and turns around. What are you doing here? Who are you?
I was sent to find a Alfred.
You mean Alfric? Because that's me.
The doctor has a slight emergency and needs you.
What's going on?
There's a person that I found on the outskirts of town, and he was robbed and has a very big gash on his head.
Take me to him.
Go back to the town.
As you run out of the cave, a bunch of bats just start taking flight and following you both out. Oh, Alfric, you've come! Hurry! This man needs healing. That I can provide. He puts his hand on the man's head, and you can see just a very faint blue energy just kind of radiate from Alfric's hand. It doesn't look like his gash has healed up, but it looks like it has stopped bleeding. It seems like it's starting to scab over now. If you care to take a look at the guy's chest, it starts rising and falling a little bit more steadily.
Is he still conscious?
No, he's still out of it.
I thank Alflick and thank the doctor and ask if I should do anything else.
Did he say anything about who he was, where he was going, where he got robbed, who robbed him, what he was doing? Anything, child. You have to figure out who he is.
All he said was that he came from a town far away and he was trying to find medicine for his sick children.
What kind of medicine?
It was some type of plant.
It could be anything. What did he say what it was?
He did, but it was very faint and I could barely understand him.
And did he say where he was?
Cut out for me.
You said far away. I wonder. Alfric, go to the table and pull out that map. Alfric goes to the table. He rummages around a bit and ends up pulling out a rolled up, very old, very well used, well worn map. It looks like a standard map with some modifications. You can tell that whoever used it a lot and made their own notes. You can see path drawn in. You can see stuff scribbled out. You can see marginalia. It's a very well used, well loved piece of equipment.
I asked the doctor why he brought that out for me.
Maybe if you saw the town, you could remember what it was. Let's see, there's Bowstone. That's pretty far away.
I don't think there was that.
What about Everwick? That's even farther away.
Oh, yes, I think I remember him saying something about that.
Let's see, what else? There's Beverly. There's Octothorpe. That's always been a weird name for a town. Nesiston.
Oh,
East.
yeah.
What?
He was going to Nesiston from Wow. From that other place that he talked about.
Well, have to see. If he wakes up in the next few hours, we can ask him what he needs. Perhaps I have some.
I guess we can ask him. But
The hours pass. Eventually, he does stir.
I go towards his side and try and sit him upright.
It's a good thing you did, too. He was trying to do it himself, but he was very nearly falling down on his own elbows. He leans forward. Where am I?
You're at the doctor's office. Everything should be fine.
The doctor. Doctor! Oh, yes, sir. What is your name? My name is Raven. What? I have to get to Niziston. My wife and my kids. My kids are sick. Oh, Trollsbane. I need Trollsbane. Do you have Trollsbane? The doctor gasps. Trollsbane? They have the 1 week fever? Yes, they do. They're going to. We must get them healthy. We must get them the Trollsbane. The doctor quickly runs over to his medicine cabinet. You can see him just tear it open. He starts like going through it really quickly. He hardly even stops to look at the vials or boxes of herbs and medicines he's got. And pretty soon he's taken literally everything out of the cabinet. He turns to Alfric. I don't suppose you could find some Trollsbane out there? He nods and immediately turns around, exits, and leaves. The doctor turns to you. Thank you, child. You can go now. Alfric will see to it that the medicine gets to where it needs to go.
I thank both the doctor and I say goodbye to him and I leave.
You can see Alfric come in a while later. He's carrying something. He's running as fast as he can. Looks like it's a basket with some plants in it. He runs to the doctor, then runs out to the stable. And very, very quickly thereafter, you can hear him go, yeah, yeah. And a horse that is like the biggest horse you've ever seen. Like, this horse is ripped. It's jacked. And
I'm sorry, the phrase "this horse is ripped" is funny to me.
this horse is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean, brother? It's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of horses, and it is running at about the fastest a horse can run. And he's running out of town. A few weeks later, the town postman, who looks suspiciously like Alfric's brother, comes up to you and he hands you a note in an envelope. It's addressed to the good child.
I open the note and read it.
You could tell it's handwritten. There's a few drops where it looks like the paper is stained with tears. It reads, Dear child, I remember not your name, but I do remember your kindness. You helped a complete stranger on the road, who could have been anyone, even a bandit trying to trick you. But instead it was I, and I was trying to help my children. After I've been robbed, you brought me back into town and got me to the attention of the doctor. I don't know who that Alfred character is, but he saved my children. I would have been still on the side of the road if it hadn't been for you, and my children would no longer have been with us. Thank you, child. Forgive the tear stains on this letter. They are not tears of happiness, but of joy. You can see the word happiness is scribbled out, and he writes sorrow. See, I'm so happy that I'm writing things that make no sense. So, as a token of my gratitude, take this. I would give this to one in my family, but we have a few other things that would be good for an inheritance, and I believe that you may find this of some use. And enclosed is a small leather rope with a pendant on it. The pendant looks like a bird with its wings outstretched. It feels slightly warm to the touch.
I put it in my bag and head back home for the night.
Very good. So, Gunter, that was your session 0. What the point of the session 0 is to inform about how your character has developed and what kind of traits he has. So, you've displayed incredible selflessness. That's a good thing.
I should probably change my alignment now because I think I was like evil before.
I don't think you were. I thought you were neutral.
I definitely wasn't neutral. I know that for a fact.
Okay, Delta and...
So you cut off there. Am I included in this or not?
Which one of you wants to go next?
I'll go. I'm not hearing much from Delta.
All right. You're up. Is it okay if I move Gunter's token back up there?
Move it wherever you want. You're in charge.
All right. Dungeon Master Essentials 2. That is not what I am looking for. I'm also looking for Google Chrome not to freeze.
Aren't we all?
That's why I use Opera.
That's why that's why I just use view source and run all the JavaScript in my head.
Okay. So, Mean Elephant.
Yeah.
You're coming over here.
You are now.
Whoa!
Dang. Talk about high quality speed.
Faster than a speeding elephant. More powerful than an elephant. It's Mean Elephant.
That was literally like 20 feet in like a second.
Yeah, anyway, so this is going to be Mean Elephant by himself.
All right.
And Delta, we will do yours after. So, this is, again, when you're about 13 years old. Right when you're starting to become a man. You grew up. Remind me of where you grew up again?
Does it say on my character sheet?
I don't think it did.
How would I know that?
It's your character. Did you grow up in a small town or a big one?
Oh, there's a spot on my character sheet for Homeland and it's blank. I probably grew up in a big town, I would imagine.
All right. So you grew up in a big town.
Selling cheese like I do. Mongering cheese.
As an apprentice cheesemonger, you've kind of gotten into the local food trade. Taverns and fisheries, fishmongers, bread makers, cake makers, all that stuff, all that good stuff is the circles that you run in. You're not experienced enough to go hawking cheese on your own, but you're picking up bits of the trade as you do at that age. Note that this is also a big town, so it's got some things like a cake maker or a pretzel maker that you might not have in other smaller, more isolated communities. Your town is at the crossroads of several major trade routes as well. One day, while you're taking out some rather expired curds from a failed cheesemaking process, you notice a few people kind of in the back of the alley. They're talking about something.
What's going on in that there alley?
As you get closer, you can overhear the two of them talking to each other. Oh, man. Listen, they got this new thing called cafe. Oh, what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be like a drink? Is it going to be some kind of cake? I have the script for this Java right here. I think it's a drink. And I know it commands a very, very high capital city.
Oh
Here,
my god.
I even have some of the, what they call them, cacao beans. The other guy sniffs them. Ugh. Who would drink that? First guy goes, I'm told it's better once you crack it and let it ferment and run water over it and everything. All that for a drink made out of these beans? No, thank you. I'll stick to my vodka. But I'm telling you,
Shannon, give me dinner.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of money to be made. And, okay, so remember we were coming into town. He goes, yes, I remember. Well, there was a bar. The Blue Botfly. Remember? It had that big blue botfly over the door. I never would have guessed. Well, I overheard the barmaid talking to the guy who owned the place, and she said they were getting a delivery of cacao beans tomorrow. So, are you seriously suggesting we knock off this tavern for these cacao beans? Listen, man, if we can export them, or if we can, fence them somewhere, we could be rich. I mean, these rich people pay through the nose for this stuff. Oh, these 1%ers. Don't they have better things to spend their money on? Well, don't answer that. I guess they don't. You said it was the blue botfly, right? Yeah, it was the blue botfly. All right, so what are we going to do?
Excuse me. What are you fellas talking about?
Cheese it! It's a guy selling cheese! Run!
I follow them.
Okay, so you follow them. They're running away, and you're running after them.
If this graph is right, weren't they running towards me?
Well, they were in the alley, and now I've arranged it so that they're running away from you.
Ah.
So now they're running away. You follow them. Did you leave the cheese cart behind, or are you pushing it as you go?
I think it'll be funnier if I'm chasing them with a cheese cart.
Okay, so you've got this wheelbarrow-like contraption that is just a cheese cart, and it's got links of cheese, wheels of cheese, bricks, slices.
Stop right there, you two! In the name of cheese!
So you're running over the.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
and cheese is just like, with every bump, there's like cheese flying off. You can hear it hit some of the hapless bystanders.
Does it not? Is there no like flaps or something I can put down to contain the cheese? I don't want to lose any cheese.
Well, I mean, like, there's. Okay, so you know the cart is like basically a big rectangle, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's like panels that normally you would set up to be like a table or like a ledge, and they're kind of flapping as you're going along.
Okay, can I fold them in?
Yes.
Sweet. I'll do that.
But that takes a couple of seconds. Every second that you're doing that, they're getting farther and farther ahead of you.
I'm pretty fast, right?
I believe so.
Alright, I think it'll be worth it.
All right. So you are running with this cheese cart, just plowing through the crowds. You're knocking people over and trampling over them as you're trying to get to these two dudes wearing masks talking about stealing the Java.
Out of my way, citizens! Cheese emergency!
What?
Someone call the cheese police.
Cheese justice!
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Hang on. Where is... Okay, I don't want an alien. Where's the freaking animals? Familiars and summons. Close enough. All of a sudden, you can see one of them suddenly leap up in the air while the other basically gets on his butt lying down and slides. You see the cause very shortly after that. There is a pack mule standing in your way.
How much room is there around me? Can I go around it?
You can try.
Alright, I do my darndest. This is in the name of justice, okay?
What is your dexterity?
Oh, my dexterity
Yes.
is 15.
Roll me a 1d20. And we're looking for under 15.
Woo! 5!
You successfully managed to matrix the cheese cart around this pack mule. It just goes, "Eeyaw!"
Damn straight! Take that, mule!
All of a sudden, as you're chasing these you're chasing these thieves, you look and you're coming up against where the street dead ends into a row of buildings. They jump off the ground and run up the sides of the buildings doing epic Assassin's Creed type parkour.
Much like the game, however, they fail.
So there's no way I'm getting a cheese cart to follow that.
I mean, you never know.
My dexterity is 15!
I mean, maybe.
It's a pretty heavy...
Maybe attach it to a grappling hook or something.
Let's see here. Do I ever... I don't seem to have a grappling hook.
Oh, look! There's one on the ground.
I don't think that's how that works. Is that how that works?
Of course not.
Ordinarily, no. However, in the interests of improv and this being an improv server, I think I'll allow it.
I grab the grappling hook, then I throw it with all my might!
Roll me your strength.
Wait. Did you just throw the grappling hook?
Yes!
That's how you use it. You split in one, throw the
You
other
didn't even
out.
attach it, you just threw it.
My strength is also 15.
Okay,
But you didn't even attach it to the cart, you just threw it.
Oh my god. This is... I can't breathe.
Did it roll?
Oh, whoops. There we go.
There it goes.
Yes, it is.
12.
Okay, so this grappling hook is now firmly at the top of this row of buildings. You can look at the awning on the building and you can see H&R Siegson lawyers.
What are lawyers doing in a place like this?
So
All right.
how are you going to get up there with the cheese cart?
Alright, so I'm going to tie one end to the cheese cart and one end climb up it that way.
Okay, I needed a dexterity roll. You slip and back down the road, giving yourself a nasty rope burn in the process.
Ouch! So now I'm going to try to go to that place they were talking about meeting and holding up, and I leave the grappling hook behind because I was never supposed to have had it.
The blue botfly. Notable among the town for being a purveyor of questionable quality alcoholic beverages and being really, really funny to get drunk people to try to say 5 times fast. Despite this, it's actually a pretty well-kept building. The sign over it is cleaned daily, mainly because angry patrons like to throw things at it. And it seems to have just been painted a few weeks ago. This has to do with the graffiti that gets plastered all over it by the less than savory customer base.
I get it. Alright, so I guess first order of business is I'm going to try and tell them, hey, has anyone tried to rob the store recently?
What?
The barmaid comes out and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, has anyone tried to rob you guys recently? Because I think I heard some robbery people. Heard them talking about coming over here.
I mean, I've had a couple of patrons walk out on their drinks, but nobody's held us up or anything.
Well, be on the lookout for people trying to hold you up.
What could they possibly want to steal from us besides our money?
Well, do you guys have some sort of I'm not really familiar with what they're referring to. You guys have any beans?
Oh, you mean the cacao?
Yes, the cacao beans.
Oh, yes. We are supposed to get a shipment of that tonight.
Oh, yeah, be careful with those. Some guys want them.
Can you tell me what these guys looked like?
Can I?
Yes.
Yes. They were, two guys. I described them eloquently.
Fair enough, because I didn't really give you a description.
I was going to go off their tokens, but I can only see their clothes, really.
Yeah. The barmaid calls to the back, and this very big, I'm trying to think of, he looks like a fat Bruce Willis, shaved head, scar on his face.
You know the type, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this fat Bruce Willis comes out wearing a chef's apron. He's got a big meat cleaver in one hand, and he looks like somebody just pissed in his oatmeal. He is not happy. He goes, "What's going on?"
Sir, I believe I don't know about your involvement with the establishment, but I believe it's going to be robbed.
And who, shall I say, is giving me this information?
My name. You want to know my name? My name is My name.
It's
Oh my Ifia!
Yeah, my name. My parents really hated me, so they just called me my name.
My name.
Do you want to change that name?
Oh my. So that's my name. Perfectly normal name that I'm very familiar with.
He puts a very big, fat, but somehow still muscular hand on your shoulder. You can smell the bacon grease dripping off it. Thanks for the notice, kid. We'll be waiting.
All right, don't mention it. And then, oh, hey, well, I'm here. You guys need any cheese? Way off my route. Figured I'd ask.
Hey, speaking of bacon grease, could I use your bacon grease for my next wheel?
You can see the fat Bruce Willis guy just like looks over the cart from the top. He reaches in, he grabs a wheel of cheese. Now this guy is massive, so this was a pretty good sized wheel of cheese. He makes it look tiny. And then he just takes a big bite out of it. You can see him chew it, and he looks pensive for a second. Then he pulls out a couple of silvers and hands them your way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Shop smart. Shop as smart.
And I head out of there with the knowledge that I've had a job well done. Not even including my actual cheese job because I sold some cheese. So
Even if you're the strangest means possible.
I think
On
you
your-
sold like 200 times below what the price is.
On your route the next day, you notice there's a crowd gathering in the town square.
okay, what's all this crowd about?
You know what stocks are?
I do.
Well, there's two very familiar people in the stocks.
Would you like to trade with me?
I go up and offer them some cheese in a snide manner.
They spit at you.
Ah, excuse me. That's no way to treat me.
Excuse me, princess.
The man who brought you the cheese? I say.
One of them turns to you and says, "You smell like you cut the cheese."
I
Well, you
do.
would
That's
be
one of
wrong.
my many functions within the cheesemongering business.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be wrong.
You can see the leader of the town guard comes out, and he is not a hawk. I am in the wrong set of tokens.
I'm not a hawk, he declares.
He heads over to you, and he says, "So you're the cheese
I'm the cheese?
seller."
Nope, he's just cheese.
Ah, yes. It is I, the cheese seller.
The
Is that?
cheese.
Are you interested in some cheese?
No, but I'm interested in congratulating a.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your congratulations.
Very good. The guy from the blue botfly said to give this to you as thanks for stopping the thieves. I don't know how this has any way of being a proper reward, but I am not about to question him.
Oh my god.
He hands you a meat cleaver.
I will cherish this always!
Now, how do I use this to cut cheese?
I can cut cheese with anything. Thank you.
So you can just grab a twig, and you can instantly make 8 cuts in a cheese wheel.
That's right.
I'm half tempted to challenge you to do that in the story at some.
Cheese cutting competition? You dare test my skills? Well, you shall be bested.
So, you end up with a meat cleaver. For those keeping score at home and who can't see Roll20, Gunter just said, in Elephant's inventory, 500 pounds of cheddar cheese!
Cheddar cheese!
They can see the chat on the stream.
And I've just wasted my breath. I just imagine, like, if you mention you have cheddar cheese, just like doing the money gesture with your fingers while you say cheddar cheese. like Star-Lord did in Avengers Infinity War. All right. So that is your session 0. Delta, we come to you.
Nice.
Ready to move your token down?
You want to know my name?
Sure. Why not?
All right, let me get my E. And then Delta, it is your session 0.
Hey, Elephant, do you want to change your name?
Me and Elephant.
Nope, I'm just gonna keep going.
Also,
You want to know my name?
why is your token Evernote?
Because it's an elephant.
Because he's an elephant. Why is yours
I mean, like-
Delta?
But I'm not an airline, and he's not a search service.
I was going for
Mine,
humor.
mine
Okay.
at first was Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, I get
I
it.
feel like you should have kept that. You should have kept that.
Well, I wasn't going to force so.
What's yours now? Are we going off... Like, the theme is like logos, right?
Well, the theme was variations on people's names or nicknames.
I'm gonna look for other Samuels.
Yeah, what I was doing was... So I was kind of for tokens that we would recognize and we could identify with people with our people easily.
Oh, of course, because I can always identify with Delta Airlines.
Well, I
Even
mean,
though I've never used it.
I know, but your name is Delta. It's Delta Airlines. Come on.
They ripped off my name. They shall pay.
Okay, Delta. It's time for you to do your session 0. Do the Harlem Shake.
God. No. I will do anything but the Harlem Shake. Please, no.
So bear with me as I am not used to using Roll20 in this way. So...
Well, then get used to it.
I am doing my best.
Good for you. Now you're trying. Hmm.
I was going to say, don't do this to me, roll 20.
No, go right ahead. You know we had to do it to him.
Okay, take up your position once it unfreezes. Right here.
Dang. I guess Delta Airlines really is fast, isn't it? You can always rely on us. Hold on, I need to do something for like a moment. I'll be back in like a second.
Okay.
Oh,
Then
my
we will do
icon
his.
doesn't work anymore.
That's weird. It should.
I was gonna do a long shot, but it's still my old icon. I don't know.
You got to open up your character sheet, put it on the page somewhere, and then open up your character sheet and use its default token.
All right, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm back. I was just switching the shirt.
When you were 13, or the equivalent thereof. What the heck was that?
What? Excuse? When I
Anyway,
was 13, I was a flight attendant on Delta Airlines.
Anyway, when you were
I love
13,
this.
you were a good little citizen, and you went to the weekly religious services that the local priestess put out. She would stand at the front of the pulpit, and she would talk about the god of agriculture. It was a small farming community.
Is that John McCain?
It's a butcher. No, bartender. That's not John McCain. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I saw some videos like, "Are we talking about agriculture?" I'm not sure if it was John McCain. It
Anyway,
was on some YouTube channel.
so the priestess lives a modest life. She gets by on the donations from her faithful. So one day after the service, you see her talking to a shadowy figure that I can't select because Chrome is being stupid.
Whatever.
That's why you should use up.
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Please wait.
This episode of Whose Line Club brought to you by Opera.
He's Trovatore. There we go.
Now, if you cannot wait this long to get the game progressing, please aim.
So, you see the priestess talking to this dude. She hands him the entire coin purse. He hands over to her a very, very nice looking game bird that he caught. She thanks him, and he's on his way. He turns around. Oh, I didn't see you there.
You too.
She looks kind of nervous, and then she I must attend to my duties, and then runs off. Next week, it happens again. This time, the guy hands over what looks like a bag of white powder.
Excuse me, I'm the drug police. I'm gonna want to confiscate that.
Whew, you insolent young fool!
I mean, you were literally making the transaction right in front of me. I mean, the sermon literally just ended like 10 minutes ago. I'm still deciding what I'm gonna do. Hit the shops, or if I'm gonna go home and read the Bible. I'm not sure.
If I give you some of this, will you be quiet about it?
Sure.
She
Oh no,
parcels.
this is just.
What?
Oh no, this is just salt. Never mind.
No, it's actually sugar.
Great. Now I can add.
You're
the
really
chocolate
bad at
bag.
tasting.
I didn't taste it. I'm just looking at the bag.
She leaves in a huff. Next week, she's not there.
Wait, but white sugar means it's processed. This is illogical.
It's my world. I can do what I want.
Good point.
Anyway, the next week, she's not there.
Oh, dang. Looks like someone used a disappearing spell.
However, as you see her around town that day, she's wearing under the sleeve of her cloak a very nice gold bracelet all of a sudden.
Huh. That's a nice fool's gold you got right there.
Oh, yes, fool's gold. And only a fool would think to squeal.
Jeez, do you think you could stop zipping around as fast as you are?
Do you think you could stop being so nosy?
And once again, woman, you're doing this right in front of me. I mean, I kind of have no choice. But
A few days later, as you're doing whatever it is you're doing in the town, you can see her talking to the local blacksmith who has hair as red as the fires he works with. But you
nope, I think this is
must.
red as it
It behooves you. It also behooves me to provide for my family, Beatrice.
is.
Yes, but the gods of agriculture will bless us, surely, if we donate a few more gold. My children's bellies would also benefit if I donated a few more gold to their cause. But everybody's bellies would be full if we have a good harvest. You're really laying the guilt trip on thick, aren't you, Beatrice?
Please. Any gold will do. We can give you a piece of a grain after the harvest is over.
She goes, how about this? If you do the donation, I will personally bless your portion of the grain to be more nutritious. Surely you wouldn't want your children to go hungry, would you? You can see the blacksmith's face screw up. He's very, very, very PO'd. Fine. I have to go home and get it. That's fine. That's it? That's fine? You were never one for much conversation, Beatrice. That's why you're so bad at it. And he turns around and sulks off.
So this is. Oh, I did not notice her there.
She turns around and nearly collides with you. You again?
How did you collide with me? I'm literally to the right of you.
I said almost collides.
Well, okay.
Right on your pointy arrow.
You almost hit my funny bone.
And you are hitting my nerves.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? You seem to have cut out.
And you are hitting my.
So, you know, I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't know. Wait, did I hear the no? Did I just hear that freaking no?
That was my dog.
For some reason I thought I heard that no.
Yeah, that wasn't a no. That was whimpering because I think she wants to go OUT.
Ooh. I'm gonna take a goblin. I'm gonna take an elf. I'm gonna.
She turns to you and says, "What's it going to take to shut you up?"
No, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that one up to you.
She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a handful of silvers and just shoves them into your hand. Then she walks off.
How dare you? I don't have any hand. How do you
So,
keep zipping around as fast as Delta Airlines? Jeez.
So, the next week at church, she's talking about being a gracious giver. We certainly must use our monetary gifts for the benefit of all. If you give to the god of agriculture, he will surely give back.
I guess saying we don't know what he would give back. Besides
What was
plentiful
that?
harvest.
Who just spoke
I
up?
think that's me. I'm the only one here.
Well, assume that there's others here because I'm not pulling up 8 tokens again.
Man, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What's that got to do with the god of agriculture?
I mean, cocaine does come from the coca plant, so.
Yes, but we don't dabble in that here.
Ah, right. I forgot. I'm in this branch of the agriculture religion. Ha, get it, branch.
Are you going to break bad?
I am internally dying.
So she goes on and gives this grandiose sermon. She's talking about making sacrifices so that people can, so the community can be better. You can catch a glint as she moves her arms of that gold bracelet that you saw her with a couple weeks ago, peeking out from under her sleeve.
So, miss, what's up with that gold right there?
What are you talking about?
I happen to see that you have some sort of gold necklace on. What's that all about?
I don't have a gold necklace on. I don't have a gold
Yeah.
anything.
I don't know. I'm seeing something peek out.
The town blacksmith is sitting next to you because I had his token of it. And he gets up and he says, I see it! I see it!
I mean, I'm not the only one. What's up with that, miss?
You two-faced lying!
I mean, the blacksmith who made it is seeing it. I don't think I'm the one lying here.
Everybody starts, a small riot starts in the church.
So that's not exactly made from the agriculture now, is it? That's a metal.
The priestess
Yeah.
looks around. She starts to speak several times, but can't get anything out.
I mean, come on, that is metal. I mean, everything else you're wearing is fabrics. It's fine. Me, I'm literally a humanoid arrow. I'm not quite sure how I'm speaking.
It's just your token. It's not your actual character.
Ah, dang it.
Finally, she gets flustered, and she knocks over the candles. A fire breaks out, and she runs out the back entrance.
Well, good job. Nice going. You seem to have burnt this place down. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get a pail of water.
The townspeople form a and start taking water out of the well to dump on the fire. It is, however, largely ineffectual. Quickly,
Okay,
the
someone got
building
my
is
fire
consumed.
extinguisher.
Quickly, the
No.
building is consumed, and because the technology to package carbon dioxide in a metal cylinder does not yet exist, there is no such thing as a fire extinguisher. So, the church
Okay,
basically
never
burns down.
Well, how am I gonna get? Well, how are we gonna get our sermons now? Maybe we could go where the agricultural god intended us to be, the wide outdoors.
That sounds like a good idea, says the blacksmith.
Okay then.
Blacksmith kind of taps you on the heads back to his home. The entire first floor has been converted into a smith. You can see furnaces, you can see bellows. Oops, I triggered the echo.
Oopsie doopsie whoopsie.
Yes, there's furnaces, there's bellows, there's stands, there's tools of various types. There's swords, there's plowshares, there's various metal objects in various stages of completion, just kind of hanging around wherever they can be,
Strange.
wherever they can be fit.
So how'd you manage to stick lava on the floor without it burning down the place?
Skill, he says.
What is your skill, anyways? What's your skill number?
I'm a blacksmith.
Wait. Oh, right. I almost forgot. So, I'm not gonna question it.
He looks at you kind of funny, and then he turns back around and he starts rummaging through his pile of junk.
How convenient. There seems to be a sign to your left that says pile of junk.
Thanks. I made it myself. I think this is when I was a young woodworker. It's inferior quality to what I would make now, but I thought it was funny at the time.
So that explains why the carvings aren't as good as that other one over there that says please do not look at this.
Yes, and if you know what's good for you, you won't look at it.
I mean, I'm not looking at the it, so I think I'm okay.
Works for me. He pulls out a ring. I made this. It was supposed to be a ring of protection +3, but turns out that the wizard I hired wasn't as good a wizard as he said he was.
So what did it do? Protection -3?
No, protection +1.
Oh, well, I mean, it's still a boost.
Yeah, just not the one I was looking for.
Who were you looking for, anyways?
A boost of +3.
Oh.
Anyway, I figure that if that woman's back, she's going to have it out for you. So here, take this. Maybe it'll help.
All right then.
Good on you for speaking up about that. I never would have noticed it if you hadn't pointed it out.
What?
That bracelet. She's supposed to be living an ascetic lifestyle, and here she is wearing bling.
Look, and lucky for me, this is just a piece of wood.
Well, just keep an eye out, kid. Don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks.
And that was your session. So, now that we've established some things about your characters' backstories, use them in informing what your characters would do in certain situations.
Bong cheese.
I'm just a wisecracker. I just want to make as many jokes as possible. And also act like a total dick.
And Gunter is a very helpful young soul.
I'm not helpful at all. I just really like to screw around and point out the obvious.
All right, so that was our session. Come back in 2 weeks when we start the session. We start with session 1.
How many sessions would you say there would be in this?
Depends on how far you and at what pace.
Guess you could say it's numberless at this stage.
Yes,
Alright.
goes for however long it goes.
And also, I'm just going to mention real fast for the sake of the stream that we do regular improv Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the link is on screen right now. All right.
So I'm guessing we just hit the exit game.